My hiking partner and I spent 3 nights in Happy Camp waiting for the rainstorm to pass before we began that long climb out of Seiad Valley up into the Siskiyou Mountains, where we had a feeling that snow would be waiting for us. As we climbed, snow began to appear on the ground, on the trees, and all around us from the previous day's storms. This is the spot where I sat down to take my lunch break. However, when I did, fresh snow started falling from the sky. This section of trail was the coldest section yet, exceeding anything I had experienced in the San Jacinto Mountains or the Sierras. I was pretty much cold most of the time. It was freezing at night. Fortunate for me, my hiking partner Rockpile was ahead of me, and I could follow his footsteps on the trail. I caught up with my hiking partner Rockpile at Cooking Green Pass, where we camped together. I'm 3 days away from the planned end of my hike in Oregon. I should be reaching Oregon tomorrow, the state line. Last night was probably the coldest night on the trail so far, well below freezing. I stayed warm though in my tent and sleeping bag. It snowed yesterday and there was a lot of snow already on the ground from this last weekend. It snowed a couple of days, so the snow's melting, but there was still quite a bit on the trail. And it was melting off the trees and falling off the trees. I camped with 4 other people last night. 2 of them are northbound and 2 are southbound. Rockpile is ahead of me and Rockhopper is behind me. He stopped to eat breakfast. I had breakfast in bed this morning in my sleeping bag. I was able to turn on my stove while I was in my sleeping bag and make some hot chocolate and coffee. Then I had some granola. It's kind of nice not having to get out of bed, put on my wet shoes and socks. But it was pretty cold. My hands got pretty cold this morning while I was packing up. Got a little bit numb. My feet are cold now. They never really dried out. The socks are still wet from yesterday. Check out this scenery. That's where I was yesterday, down there. There's the trail I was on yesterday. We've got to do 20 miles today to get to this cabin. I haven't done 20 miles for a long time, probably since I was in the desert a couple of months ago. So I got up early this morning and started hiking at 7, which is early for me now because these days are getting shorter. So there's not as much time to hike as there used to be. I used to get up, start hiking by 6. So Martin, who's also known as Rockpile, he's getting off at Ashland. And that's my plan. The other guy, Rockhopper, he's going to go as far north as he can. He said he wants to try to make it to Crater Lake. And I can understand, because I was hoping to make it to Crater Lake too. But they just had a lot of snow up at Crater Lake. I think they actually closed it down because of the snow they had a couple days ago. Martin and I spent 3 days in Happy Camp where we watched a lot of weather reports on the television and saw the reports of Crater Lake, and it looked like a lot of snow up there. Anyway, you can see the trail's been going up this morning, so I'm probably going to be getting into some more snow as the elevation changes. We camped at 4,700 feet last night. It was in a pass, and this morning we've been just going uphill. So now we're kind of back in the snow. But it's a sunny day, so the snow should be melting. And hopefully my feet will warm up and my shoes and socks will dry off. And I'll be able to cover my 20 miles today. This was our final full hiking day on the trail. Tomorrow we would arrive at I-5 in Ashland to end our hike. When we reach these logs across the trail, we have to decide either over, under, or around. In this case, I chose under. I got a little emotional approaching the last few hours on the trail. It had been 144 days, and I knew I would be home soon.